Hi guys, it is 6:02 p.m. on Tuesday, the 138th day I'm doing this. Here is your daily dose of hope. And I am just so grateful. I woke up this morning and I did a meditation, and then I had a meeting. And then at some point I ended up doing breath work. And that reminded me I really like breath work. So, a mental note, do more breath work. And then, as soon as I was done with the breath work, I got an opportunity to talk to someone about doing some shadow work, basically, and like some healing stuff. And so, I'm going to take that opportunity. And it's just like, it's helping me rewire, I would say, as deep of pattern as could be, that people feel emotions and that I'm allowed to feel them too. And it's just amazing to me. I tried to do something today, and it didn't need to be done today, for the record, like, it wasn't like but it was just too triggering for so many reasons. And that's frustrating. It's frustrating. But I also am like, okay, I found a different way to approach it. So that's a good thing. I told the person I feel like I'm walking on Mars with a blindfold on. Like, what? I'm straddling two worlds. Oh, I had two meetings this morning, actually, and it's just reiterating that my number one value is genuine and fulfilling connection. That is my number one value, which makes sense of why I'm so unhappy. Not unhappy being by myself, period. Like, I always need to be around people. It's really not that. It's just having those real connections. That was at 2:44, in my life. If I have those real connections in my life, I don't need to be around people all the time. They're like tethers. I don't know. It just helps me. It just makes me happy. So it's just incredible how it's what quality over quantity. And I can have a Zoom talk with someone and get so much more out of it on every level, than spending 8 hours with someone else in person, right? And it's just been, I just feel like the ground is opening up. And the crabs are trying to pull me back in. And it's like, no. It's just amazing to start to, on some level at least, stick up for myself and value myself. So I released some emotion today. I think it was, oh, before I did the breath work, I found this thing that does like 2 hours of tapping. So I did some of that and released some tears. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is so hard. But then I did some breath work. And during the tapping, I fell asleep. And remember, this is all when I have time. This isn't, I then forgot to do something. It's like, this is how hard it is for me to relax, or how unusual, like, unfamiliar it is for me to actually feel safe enough to relax, even when it's time to relax, which has been the problem. I know how to go. I know how to push through. I know how to sacrifice. I know how to suffer. I know how to struggle, right? Like, I know how to do all those things while keeping my temper, like doing the right thing. But if you never know how to relax, you're not going to make it, because you're either going to implode or explode. And since I don't explode, it's been just sort of been not considered a problem, you know? But it is a problem because I'm hurting myself gravely, you know? So I'm continuing to use courage every day. I've got to set up some doctor's appointments that I'm not looking forward to. And so, yeah, it's a very scary time for me. And yet, I did breath work for peace today. And in that moment, I felt peace. And this is what I wanted to say, is I realized I was thinking of it as, okay, I need to do this trauma work. I need to heal this trauma so that I can live my life. But actually, the mere fact of scheduling in time and space and energy for healing work is healing. Because if you're in fight or flight, so what your brain's saying or your nervous system's saying is, we're not safe to do this. But then you do like a guided meditation or a breath work, and so at least for that moment you are calm and everything. You're showing yourself on like a meta level, you're showing yourself we must be safe. Like an animal that's in danger isn't going to sit in the grass, lay in the grass and like, roll on its back, right? It's not going to do that because it's in danger. So if it's laying on the grass eventually, that by virtue means it's safe. It's just wild to me because I was like doing the breath work, I was doing the tapping, and I was like, I don't feel safe. It's like, okay, but we're going to stay in the bed and we're going to keep doing this, because if we get up now when we don't have to, we're just reiterating that we're not safe. That's why we need to stop. But that's not actually true whatsoever. It's not even true that it's an inappropriate time, It's like if you went on a plane and went to a vacation spot, and the whole time you're technically on vacation, like you're in a different location, but you cannot relax, you can't get in vacation mode. You're like, I have to do my work, I have to do my work. But your work isn't even accessible. Like, it's just not fact. And so that's what I read this article as well this morning about Stoicism and the principles of it. And I liked it because it wasn't actually talking about shutting off emotion. It was talking, what I heard about it was like this quiet, almost defiance of, okay, this person's being a horrible person. Like they're not doing the right thing. Okay. But the ultimate win really is to genuinely be like, okay, I'm not going to stoop to their level. I'm not going to try to convince someone that does not want to do the right thing to do the right thing. I'm going to save my energy. That's actually the real win. And I'm like, wow. They didn't say all that, but that's what I extrapolated from it. So, that being said, it was a great day. It was really hard. But it's because I'm facing this stuff. And like I said, I'm facing this stuff just so I can freaking relax naturally. But I am doing it. Today's quote is, weeds are flowers too once you get to know them. And, at first I was thinking about this as people, but I'm going to think about this as like emotions and parts of us. Because, that's one thing I'm already learning about, shadow work, is the part that we might not like or prefer about ourselves is trying to do the right thing. It's trying to protect us. So, for example, I can very much be a people pleaser, like at the extreme detriment to myself. I don't prefer to do that because I end up hurting myself. But the intent of the people pleaser part is to stay safe and to hopefully have connection. So like the intent is positive. The way that the part goes about it isn't ideal. I think that helps because instead of trying to run from ourselves or parts of ourselves, for me at least, it's extremely healing and integrative when you can sit, by yourself, have thoughts come up, and like sit with them. Not run from them for sure, but also not like shoo them away or, you know. Because then you can, like I said, my maze analogy in the last video, you run up against something. The solution is not to go to the beginning of the maze again. The solution isn't to stay at that stuck spot, like, okay, I've got to make a change here. But in order to decide the next change, you might have to be like, okay, why didn't this work? So it's amazing to me. So that being said, remember, you are the sky. You were here yesterday. You're here today. You'll be here tomorrow. It stormed today, which I thought was apropos because it was like, but the sky is still going to be here after the storm. The storm is not going to beat the sky. It's kind of a beautiful thought, at least for me. And, sometimes for me, it helps to go to the worst case scenario because it's coming up anyway. So if it's like, well, what if this is my last day? It's like, okay, so it's your last day, but you're in bed, you're peaceful. I'm not saying that to be negative. It's just like, wow, things are really shifting. I'm just really, really proud of myself and really grateful because I really think I can help a lot of people, and I really want to walk the walk. I am walking the walk, but I really want to. I'm thinking this fall I'll start my community because my daughter will be back, and my massive goal is by this time next summer, I'm not spending the summer trying to recuperate from the year and trying to, I'm just going to enjoy my summer, which we all deserve to do. Remember that you deserve to be happy and healthy. You deserve to do what makes you uniquely happy and healthy. I'm not even saying you're going to get to do it, but I want you to know, and I'm telling myself, you deserve it. Just like anybody else deserves it. So, I hope that helps. I love you guys. Have a great night.